This is American Dumpster Fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American Dumpster Fire. This is Loki,
This is Tyr.
and I'm a little pissed off about this stimulus package.
I mean, yeah.
So, as usual, the people, I don't think the people wanted corporate bailouts, and that's what the people got, right? And we got a bunch of
Right.
corporate bailouts. Now,
Small business bailouts, yes. But corporate
Yeah,
bailouts?
right.
Fucking come on.
well, and
As soon
even,
as this is over, they'll bounce right back because everybody needs what the fuck they're selling.
well, and even if you didn't, it's survival of the fittest. That's how business works. Small businesses go under all the fucking time.
Because they can't compete with the big corporations.
Right. So I'm sorry, just because you're a big corporation doesn't give you the right to exist. You know, I mean,
Right.
if your corporation failed, it's because either A, you were terrible at running it, you know, or B, the people didn't need you anymore.
The one thing that I really saw, like, maybe not making the comeback was cruises. And fuck you. You deserve that after you kept having cruises after everybody was dying on them.
And let me point out a few things about cruises. We shouldn't be bailing them out no matter what. No matter what, we shouldn't be bailing cruises out because A, they don't pay taxes here.
Right.
They don't follow our labor laws. They are one of the biggest polluters in the world.
No, I don't think we should have bailed them out at all.
Cruises shouldn't exist, let alone be bailed out. On top of that,
I don't get the appeal.
they're floating petri dishes.
Yeah, they
You
really
gross.
are. Every single time there's any kind of like outbreak, it's everybody on the cruise ship got it.
Yeah, it's
Seriously?
disgusting.
And like this was happening. There were already cruises where everybody on board was freaking infected, and they just stayed open and kept running cruises. Like any bad press you got, any loss of business you got, it's because you didn't use your fucking head because
Right,
you put
right.
money above human lives and you kept operating.
Right, which supports my claim that most CEOs are no better than anybody else. They're not a better decision maker, let alone a better person.
No, they're
You know.
definitely not better people.
So, but look, the stimulus package does way too much to bail out large corporations. Probably not enough to bail out small businesses. I mean, small businesses are getting loans.
Right.
That may or may not be forgiven after if
Depending on what they spend the money on.
and if they follow certain guidelines,
Right.
such as keeping the majority of their workforce after this all is
Right.
all over with. However, there's a worry that the small business associations will not be able to keep up with all of this. Of course, big corporations don't have that worry. They're basically getting an enormous slush fund that Steve Mnuchin can decide whether or not he follows the rules on or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's America for you.
Now, it is a better bill than it was when they went in with this whole thing. Of course, what Mitch McConnell was proposing was punitive to the poor and overly helped the wealthy.
right,
And
because it's Mitch McConnell, and that's literally all he's there for.
oh, yeah, no, he's just an awful person. I mean, he's like the resident awful person.
He is. He's literally like that meme going around with him that says, "Are you billionaires doing okay during this crisis?
Right.
Do you need some more money?" Like that sums up Mitch McConnell to a T.
Yeah, I don't understand how he still has a job. I mean, it takes some real assholes to keep voting for this guy.
I agree.
But
And he has like the lowest approval rating of any politician ever, and yet he's still in office.
because he has the most corporations just, throwing money at him to keep him in office.
and also Kentucky.
So, yeah. Yes, very low education. But, so originally, poor people were going to get less than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And even still, there's certain things that are going to keep the poor from getting a lot of money. The stipulations in place require recent tax returns and all kinds of things, so they're just not going to get any help.
Right.
And even still, the average American's going to get like $1,200 now.
So you get to choose between paying your mortgage and eating.
Right. And now unemployed people are going to get possibly close to their full salary instead of just the, half salary you would normally get from being unemployed or what have you. But way too much of this is going to corporations. Why is so much going to corporations?
Because this is America, and that's what we value over
Corporations,
human lives.
you guys should have saved your money. You should have spent it properly.
Oh.
You shouldn't have spent it on avocado toast.
This is true. Let's talk about all the things that Republicans love to tell people when they don't have enough money for things like health insurance
You
and
should have
food and
saved.
rent. You should have had a better job. You should have saved your money. You should have managed your money better.
You shouldn't have done so many stock buybacks.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't want to fucking hear it.
And that's my favorite thing is these people who are like, all these people who hate Trump are just going to turn away those checks, right? No, my friend. All you people who hate socialism are just going to turn away those
Right.
checks, right? What the fuck do you think this is? Like, they're literally so stupid.
Oh, so many people are like, I'm not going to vote for Bernie because I hate socialists. Do you now? Do you still hate socialists?
Right.
Do you still hate the socialism that they're going to give you next week?
Exactly.
Is that what you
Except
hate?
they'll never see it as that. Oh, this is a gift from Trump.
No. This
Sure
is
it is.
socialism. This is a
is
gift from your fellow
socialism.
taxpayer. This is how it works. We pay taxes. Those taxes are now going to be redistributed back to us in different ways. Socialism. That's how it works.
That is exactly how it works. And the fact that they can't see this is like the number one thing wrong in this country. Our people are fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, this crisis wouldn't even be hitting us quite so hard if we had Medicare for all right now. You know, we'd be prepared
for
this
sure.
whole thing. But there are people walking away from this with $35,000 bills for their even with insurance, $10,000 bill for your
Yep.
hospitalization from
Yep.
coronavirus and stuff like that. The government has absolutely blundered a bunch of stuff that the system itself would have been able to handle without the government's involvement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's a clusterfuck.
yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's a clusterfuck that it couldn't have been prevented, but could have been handled so much better. A lot of these deaths, a lot of these illnesses, yeah, those could have been prevented.
There's doctors and nurses everywhere calling for Medicare for all.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. The people in the system, you know who's
And
not
you know what?
calling for it? Insurance companies. That's who's telling you that Medicare for all is bad. Insurance companies.
No, I still
And,
see.
Oh, I don't listen to the insurance companies? Yeah, they're not saying they're insurance companies, idiot.
Right. No, there's still people out there who are arguing against this. Oh, get a better job. Really? Right now? I hope you lose your job.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I have a good job with good insurance. I hope you fucking lose it. I hope you get laid off right now like the rest of us are. And I hope that you can take your words and shove them right up your ass.
These people have no empathy
They
until
have
something
no
happens to them.
empathy. Like, literally, all they care about is themselves.
Oh,
and
this
like,
shouldn't be happening to me. Really? You were just calling for it to happen to other people.
right,
Fuck you.
exactly. Like, until it literally happens to them, they won't see anybody else. Like, everybody else's lives means nothing to
Right.
them.
Yeah, they don't understand their own privilege. So
No. Oh,
It-
and they hate that word. They hate that word, even though they're fucking dripping with it.
if you haven't had to deal with a problem that other people have to deal with up till now, that's privilege.
Exactly.
So get over it. Most of us have some form of privilege.
For sure.
So I can recognize my privilege, and I want everybody to be able to have health care, even though I have health care.
Right. I mean, that's absolutely the case. I still have my job for now, and I still have my health care for now, and that doesn't mean that I don't think that everybody on this fucking planet should be able to go to the doctor when they're ill.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I've been on both sides of this. It's not good. You need to be able to have health care. You need everybody to be able to
You
have it.
absolutely do.
So, and they just don't understand how much less burden this would be if we were prepared for it.
It doesn't even matter. Like, how awful of a person are you that you're like, well, I got mine, so I hope you die.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, how poorly were they raised to
Like-
end up like that?
They're just, people are sick.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole thing's been handled so poorly, you know, and you were saying that Trump is essentially punishing states that have Democrat
So,
governors.
yeah, he's basically expecting governors to kiss his ass in order to get the supplies that they're asking for. And he's had a couple of instances where he's used words like, well, you have to treat us well, too.
Right.
No, motherfucker. Your job as president is to protect all of your citizens in this country, you overgrown motherfucking man-child.
Seriously.
What is wrong with you that you are a 2-year-old in the Oval Office throwing a temper tantrum over, well, blue states shouldn't get as much help, or people who have been mean to me in the past aren't going to get as much help? These people are getting like 5% of what they've asked for, or enough supplies for like one day. These governors that he just doesn't like because they were what? They were mean to him once? Are you fucking kidding me? Grow the fuck up. Like, He's an overgrown toddler. He's literally throwing temper tantrums, and people are dying. This man is guilty of mass murder at this point by negligence.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of people calling for a class action lawsuit against the government, specifically the office of president. And
It'll never go anywhere, but I absolutely think, hey, if you got the money to fucking do it, do it. Because right now, the fact that we're picking and choosing who gets supplies based on who's nice to Trump, are you fucking kidding me?
right. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
New
and
York
it's
has
absolutely
people
corruption.
dying left and right because we're not catering to a man-child.
It's absolutely corruption. Like, it's never been more obvious. There should literally have been something in place, excuse me, that triggered immediately as soon as he displayed this outward corruption that just removed him from office without us even working at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be some kind of...
Yes, there needs to be something where it's not, well, the corrupt Senate gets to vote on the corrupt
Right.
president
No.
to see whether he gets to stay in office. No. This should either be a popular vote, and that's it straight up, or it should be just, you did this, you're out.
Right, we need a corruption fail-safe, not just for the office of president, but senators and Congress people, where if they commit certain acts, they're just gone. That's it.
I agree, because everybody in the fucking Senate right now who is going along with this, they're all accomplices.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need like ejector seats that just launches them at the ceiling.
I'm good with that. I'm
you
good
know?
with that, yeah.
But the ceiling doesn't open up or anything. They just
No, I'm
smack
fine
into
with
it.
that too. Yeah,
okay.
no, that's cool.
Yeah. So we'll make that happen. But it's absolutely ridiculous. And now we have the most cases of coronavirus in the world.
Right.
We're the worst infected. Now,
All
so
that
far, we
America
don't
First
have,
thing, we're finally hitting that.
Right. We're number one in cases of coronavirus.
Right.
But now, luckily, our death toll isn't high enough. And don't let Trump or Senate or Congress or anybody take credit for that. Our nurses and doctors get credit for that, not our politicians.
Oh, for
our
fucking
politicians
sure.
have done jack shit.
They've hindered the help that
Right.
these doctors and nurses are able to do. They're coming out of the woodwork to criticize Trump, as they should be.
Yeah, no, he doesn't belong in office.
And they're like telling people to vote for Medicare for all, and they're telling people, for the love of God, stay the fuck home.
Right. But the thing, Medicare for all is a surprisingly unpopular thing because they've been convinced by insurance companies that it's socialism.
And politicians
and once again,
who make
you're,
money
you're
off
told
of
that
it.
these aren't insurance companies, or that I don't listen to insurance companies. You are, because they're sponsoring the people who are telling you that
Right,
it's bad.
exactly.
So, and that they're paying the politicians who aren't behind it. So if
Right.
your politician doesn't support Medicare for all, that's because they're taking money from pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies. That's why.
Absolutely.
We 100% need Medicare for all. It is the cheaper and most effective solution.
I can't tell you how many times like other countries were like coming out in the like light of this going, my God, we had no idea
They're
how
calling
bad
our
America
healthcare
was.
barbaric.
It is barbaric. It is fucking barbaric. They're like, you guys are a fucking third world country with billionaires.
Yeah.
Like, and that's true.
Well,
it is completely
we're a
true.
feudalism. It's ridiculous that people keep calling us a capitalism. But realistically, we're a new age feudalism.
Mm-hmm.
You have no rights. You think you do because you can vote and everything like that. But apparently your votes can just be overridden and stuff like that. The people you
That's
vote
become
for
clear.
are never going to support your interests because they themselves are ridiculously wealthy, or they work for ridiculously wealthy people,
Right.
not you.
Right. And
So-
as long as we have corporations sponsoring our politicians, this government will never work for the people.
Yeah, and on top of that, now we have these rules that let the corporations hide the fact that they're doing it. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And it all shows because the ridiculous amount of the stimulus package that corporations are going to see,
Right.
and not you and me. Now, I don't care. I'm still working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still out there doing stuff, but it would be nice to have some personal protective equipment that our government should have been prepared for. We should have been ready for, something like this. And we would have been had Obama's pandemic response team not been dismantled almost immediately as soon as Trump got in office.
Well, he had to do of everything that Obama did because, well, I'm pretty sure it's because we had a black man in office. And so he just had to automatically undo everything he did.
So the orange man had to undo what the black
I
man
feel
did.
like that was the reasoning. I feel like most of Trump's supporters.
A lot of it's because he's
were-
an immature douche, I'm sure. That Trump doesn't have... I trust a 4-year-old's judgment over this idiot.
Agreed. Me too.
So,
Yeah. No, I feel like the vast majority. I can't really speak for Trump as far as his reasoning goes, but I think that from the supporters, the Trump supporters that I've talked to, their biggest issue with Obama is that he is not white.
right. And have you been watching any of his stupid briefings? So now that he can't hold his Nazi rallies,
Trump's?
he's having all these briefings.
No, because I get a headache listening to 3 minutes of him speaking.
Because it's almost utter nonsense.
It is utter nonsense.
And the one day I was watching it, and he had the one doctor's rubbing his head like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. Like, you could see it on his face that he thinks Trump's an idiot.
Right.
Most people
They all do. Yes.
Even Barr was rolling his eyes while Trump was talking
Right.
because it was utter nonsense. On top of that, if you looked at his eyes, I work in the medical field. I can tell what somebody who's stoned looks like.
Right.
And he was blatantly stoned.
I hear that all the time.
there's no way he wasn't. I mean, you just look at his eyes. His pupils are fucking dilated as hell. You know, like his face is all weird and puffy and shit like that. It's like this guy's high as shit. On what? I dare not speculate, although I'm hearing Adderall is probably
I
it.
hear Adderall a lot too.
So it's just so we have this stoned monkey in office, and it's like, what do we even do with this idiot?
I know. And then like he's calling for everybody to be back to work in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Which is right around when we're expecting a spike from what the Cleveland Clinic is saying.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, they basically said that we're willing to sacrifice your grandparents to fix the economy.
It was essentially like, well, your grandparents can stay home, but you know we're going to have to start accepting that people are going to die so that we can get this country up and running.
Right. Maybe he and the other CEOs should be on the front line.
That's what I was saying. Like, go for it, DT. Lead by example. Get your ass out
Right.
there.
Each one of the Waltons can run a cash register.
You and your supporters, go on out there. We'll see how it goes.
Let's get Bezos in the sorting room, you know, because he's had quite a few deaths at Amazon from this.
Has he?
Yep.
Ugh.
So yeah, I mean, if let's get Trump out there. Trump he could be out front, like working the freaking gift shop in front of the White House or something like that. You know, I mean, we need these guys because they have no empathy because they're never going to have to be in a situation that's going to require them to risk themselves. And what has this whole thing shown us? CEOs are unnecessary personnel.
Yeah, they've disappeared and nobody noticed.
Bankers are unnecessary personnel. Stock traders, unnecessary personnel. You're all unnecessary people. You know who's necessary?
Well, bank tellers are kind of necessary.
The people who handle your food, the people who
Hospital
handle
workers.
your health, you know, the
Yeah.
people who handle your trash. You know, I mean, not CEOs, not bankers, not
None of the higher ups, correct.
Yeah, none
The
of your-
people who make all the money from all the work that we do, none of
Right.
them are
the
necessary.
people stealing your labor
Right.
are the ones who make all the money and have none of the risk. That's
Yes,
how it works.
correct.
That's your country.
That is our country, and it was designed this way so that all of the money for the only value that's coming out of anything in this entire system that we have, the only thing of value is the work that we do.
Right.
Money is a symbol. You know, it's not real.
Right.
It's not in existence. The only thing that's actually valued is the labor that we do to produce these services that keep people alive, whether it be medical services or food services or whatever. We're working for these things that are tangible. So the money is just a placeholder, which means the only value is in your actual labor. And the people who are doing the most labor are the people who have the least of that symbol, that status place.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So you are being robbed of your time.
Right. By people who literally do nothing of value but hoard all of that status symbol.
Correct. Yes. And we don't need them.
We don't.
The world will actually go on perfectly without them.
I agree.
So maybe.
But our government is so fucking corrupt that it funnels all the money their way and makes sure that they don't have to pay their share of taxes back into the system to cover the fact that they're useless in our society.
Maybe it's time to start getting away with dealing with big businesses. Let's stop using them.
And let's stop bailing them out.
Definitely. Look, a big business should never get a bailout. Period. No more bailouts.
I completely agree. It was my biggest issue with Obama was when did he bail out banks? I
The-
think it was banks.
The only people who should be the people should be getting bailed out.
Mm-hmm.
If you bail out the people, they will spend the money on the
Right,
corporations
it
that are
stimulates
needed.
the economy automatically.
Trickle up economics is the only economic model that actually works.
Right.
That's
This was like Andrew Yang's entire point was that yes, people are going to spend it. That's the point.
Right. Yeah. No. Well, that's because the average Republican's an idiot.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, so if you give the top 1% all the money, they don't need to spend it, so it goes in their pockets.
Right. They hoard it.
So trickle down economics does not work.
It was never going to work. And yet these people are still online arguing that, well, these are the people who pay me my salary.
But they don't have to be.
Right. Not only that, but they pay you like pennies from their pocket in
Right.
your salary.
Your labor is worth much more.
They could triple it and not feel a pinch.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what Jeff Bezos If he
Like you're worshiping billionaires because, well, somewhere down the line they're paying your salary. They're paying you pennies. You're an ant.
yeah, and they're paying you the absolute least they can possibly pay you without you
They're-
revolting.
Right, exactly.
So-
Like people are so stupid. It's like, please enslave me here with
Right.
your. Oh, you're so stupid.
Yeah, it's
Please hold my health insurance hostage so that I can never leave this job position.
exactly. Why does health insurance have anything to do with your job?
Right. And
And
God
it-
forbid you have a pre-existing condition and want to switch jobs to a new insurance and have to deal with all that fucking hoopla, which thank God there was a protection on that in Obamacare, but it's the first thing they keep attacking every time Trump comes after it.
Well, Obamacare is. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this. It's got to go. It's time for it to go. It's got
But
to
it's
be.
time for it to expand.
It's time for it to be replaced by Medicare for all.
The only reason that Obamacare had the problems that it had is because it was stripped down into something that wasn't sustainable.
Well, and we allowed it to continue to be manipulated by
insurance companies.
corporations,
That's the problem with it.
and so they're trying to play both sides of this game here, right? They're trying
Right.
to play it like, oh yeah, no, this is great because we are still involved, but we want to destroy it because we could make more money if we destroy it, But if you got rid of the insurance companies and just went Medicare for all, they wouldn't have the power to destroy your health care.
Well, and that's the thing is that as soon as Obamacare was put into place, the insurance companies skyrocketed their prices.
Yeah,
and then everybody was complaining and blaming the healthcare plan, when really it was price gouging
Well-
by the insurance companies, which it hadn't even gone into effect yet,
yeah.
and they were already jacking up prices, trying to make up for the profits that they were going to be losing when people had another option.
But they didn't lose anything, honestly. It really.
It didn't change anything. It just gave more people access to healthcare.
Well, no, I'm saying that the health insurance companies actually made out in this whole deal. But
Because they're scum.
did you know that if you didn't have to pay ridiculous CEO salaries, we could reduce the cost of health care?
I don't think anybody cares because I think that they enjoy the fact that they have healthcare and they can piss on other people.
Did you know that if we combined the administrative costs of all people's health care under one umbrella, that we could reduce the cost of health care?
And also, I love it when people make the argument that they don't want the government's hands on it, that some corporation should just step forward and make it available to all and in favor of the people. And are you so fucking deluded that you think corporations are going to do shit like that out of the
Corporations-
kindness of their hearts without any kind of government regulation keeping it from fucking everybody over?
Corporations
Are
never
you-
do the right thing.
Never ever. It
In
has
fact-
to be government regulated because no corporation is ever going to do anything good for anybody.
In fact, when the government doesn't do the right thing, it's usually because a corporation paid them not to.
Exactly.
So maybe it's time to kill corporate influence.
Obviously it is. But for people to think that, oh, well, the government just shouldn't have a hold of it, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, you wouldn't believe that if you were part of the government, would you?
If it's not,
if you
if
get-
it can't be run directly by the people, then it has to be run by the government because no for-profit system is going to fucking work.
no, they're going to keep trying to steal from you because that's what corporations do. They steal from the people.
For-profit healthcare, it right there, that very term should ring
Right.
alarm bells.
Right. Yeah, because they're going to try and turn out as much money as they can possibly make, and that's
Because
either going
you
to happen by
have no-
screwing you out of healthcare or screwing you out of your payments.
Right. And you have no incentive to save lives with that plan.
Right.
The longer you keep someone sick, the more money you make.
Right. What forces them to do the right thing here?
Literally nothing.
Exactly.
The goodness in nurses and doctors is literally the only thing that keeps us from being completely fucked over.
That's why it's time to destroy that system. Just
It
let's get rid of it.
absolutely is. It's
Stop
beyond
saying
time.
that the ACA or any insurance-based system is going to work. It's just not.
It's not. It's not ever going to work.
Anytime the corporations are involved, it's going to get fucked. Period.
It is. Because they're only out to line their own pockets.
Right. So, unless your candidate supports Medicare for all, they don't support you.
I
So,
agree. They're not working for you
Right.
if they don't support Medicare for all.
Correct.
That means there's an insurance company or a pharmaceutical company or some other medical industry, for-profit medical industry in their pocket,
Right. So,
which means they're representing them and not you.
right. So everybody who says Medicare for all can't work is an insurance company shill.
Yep.
That's it. So talk to your congressmen, senators, presidential candidates, or anybody else who doesn't believe in Medicare for all and get them on the program.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.